You are watching T to the M to the IDD.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? T to the M to the IDD. We are back with another video, and I want to touch on something that I made a video about just a few months ago. In this particular video, I said that I never use zoom lenses, and I sat down and I thought about that, and I said, well, that's not all the way true. So in this video, I intentionally used a zoom lens because I never really used zoom lenses outside. And for on location, that is 100% the truth. I only use my 35 millimeter and my 85 millimeter whenever I shoot outside. If I'm traveling, that is my go-to setup, right? But the truth of the matter is, I almost never use those two lenses when I shoot inside of the studio. And so some people ask me, how do I do my studio photo shoots? And I thought this was the perfect time to present my weapon of choice for photo shoots in my home studio. Okay, so in my home studio, what I use is this 70 to 200 lens. Okay, now I know it has been a while since I have done a live photo shoot. All right, it might have been a couple months by now, but if you tuned in to my home studio shoots where I go live, then you know you are going to catch me with this 70 to 200 lens. And it's interesting because the time that I had brought this and another zoom lens, which is the 24 to 70, is when I just got into photography. And ironically enough, I started in wedding photography. I just got into photography. I just booked this wedding. This was about 2019, and I was trying to find that perfect combination that everyone loves to find, right? And so what did somebody suggest to me? 24 to 70, and they said, oh, by the way, you'll probably want a 70 to 200 as well, so that way you can switch cameras and you have both of them on your hip. And so I went and I got those lenses. Now, since those wedding days, I almost never used the 24 to 70, just to be honest. I mean, it's literally collecting dust. But the 70 to 200, I had an epiphany maybe around 2020. I started doing photo shoots even more on this channel because, as you may know, if you go back far enough, I was only doing vlogs. 2020, I had an epiphany. I was using the Sigma 35 in my home studio, taking photos, and everything was going decent. But the only problem was my photos just were not looking like those of many that I had seen. And so something just told me, switch your lens to the 70 to 200 and see what it looks like. But at that point in my career, I was still new, so I didn't really think that it would have that much effect on my photo, right? Lo and behold, I switched that lens during that session in 2020, and I never looked back. The thing that I love about that 70 to 200 is that, yes, I'm shooting on Savage seamless backdrops, but that compression with that longer lens, no pun intended, makes it so much more seamless when you have a subject on a backdrop. It's almost like the 70 to 200 and focal lengths on that longer end is just meant for studio shoots. Am I wrong or am I right? If you shoot in the studio I want you to do me a favor and let me know, what do you use inside of the studio? I would definitely be curious to hear what everybody is using. But for me, this 70 to 200, I feel like took my photography to the next level inside of the studio. Up until that point, everything was decent, but it just was not to the point where I was like, this is the one. And it wasn't until that time I switched that lens. Every shoot after that, it was just like money, money, got better, got better, got better. And I found my way in the studio. So this is more so a video to urge everyone to try out new things. Lighting can be complicated and it could be difficult to understand at some points, but you definitely want to continuously practice and try new things. Now, this is not a message to say go buy a 70 to 200 right now, because you will find your way. Some people like to shoot inside the studio with fisheye lenses, some 14 to 35, because that is their style. So it's going to have to do with what your style becomes. But for me, a true to color photographer, pretty much going with the 7200. Let me know what your thoughts are. And I also want to leave you all with a thank you for 20,000 subscribers. That is a milestone. And at WPPI 2023, I just reached 10,000. So my goal at WPPI 2024, which was this past March, it was to double that number. And so I was able to double it, met that goal, and we are steadily climbing. So thank you. But don't forget to let me know in the comments, what lens do you use in the studio, and what lens do you feel like took your photography to the next level? T to the M to the IDD. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.